Welcome my students and viewers as well. I have been doing videos since last 2-3 days on the MCQs. So today once again I am solving few MCQs which must be relevant for UGC NET or GATE or the UGPG students or MBA students. So come on, let us start. First is, for which of the consumption function value of income multiplier is 4? Now, delta y by delta I, conventionally it is called investment multiplier, but it is also the income multiplier. Income multiplier, and its value is 1 upon 1 minus MPC. Now the multiplier is supposed to be 4. So this would be 4 if in the denominator we have 0.25, and for the denominator to be 0.25, MPC must be 0.75. So out of the 4 consumption functions, any consumption function which does have its MPC 0.75 would give multiplier as 4. So by observation it seems quite clear that this one 0.75y, for this consumption function multiplier would be 4. It is 0.5. For 0.5 multiplier would be 2. For 0.8 multiplier would be 5 and 0.4, and so its multiplier would be 1 by 0.6, that is 10 by 6, 6. So for this consumption function multiplier value would be 4, and here it has been for the income multiplier, it is same as the investment multiplier. So this is the answer. Now question number 2, there are one assertion and one region. In order to control inflation, RBI raises the repo rate. The students must be aware with the repo rate. Repo rate is the rate of interest which is being paid by the RBI. Reverse repo rate is the rate of interest which is being paid by the RBI to the commercial banks, and repo rate is the rate of interest which are being paid by the commercial banks to the RBI. So in order to control inflation, conventionally RBI raises repo rate, that's fine. By doing so, RBI wishes to control consumption. Definitely when RBI raises repo rate, credit becomes costlier, money supply is reduced, and so consumption gets reduced. So definitely both A and R this A is assertion and A region, both are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. So this is what about question number 2. Question number 3, under which approach Phillips curve analysis holds good? Yes, Phillips curve analysis holds good under adaptive expectations. Under adaptive expectations, the subject of the economy expects the future inflation rate and the behavior of the inflation rate, and accordingly they decide about the present situations, and it is known as the adaptive expectation. So this Phillips curve concept holds good under adaptive expectations. Number 4, there is a assertion in classical model investment demand is taken as autonomous of changes in income or employment, and reason is it is wage price flexibility which brings full employment in the classical model. This is absolutely true. In the classical model, the flexibility of wage rate in the downward direction brings full employment in the economy. So this region is absolutely correct, but assertion is false. This is not so in the classical model, that investment is autonomous or independent of change in income or employment. It is not the case. So this assertion is wrong and this region is true or correct. Let us solve few more sums. This is question number 5 we are dealing with. We have to match the list. We are given two lists, list 1 and list 2. Marginalist revolution was given by Jevons. So A3. Multiplier accelerator interaction model was given by Samuelson. ISLM curve was founded by Hicks and Hansen. Hicks is given here. And real business cycle model is R.J. Burrow. So this is how we can match the list 1 and list 2. Marginalist revolution of famous economist Jevons, he gave the marginalist revolution, then came Alfred Marshall, and this marginalist revolution came in vogue. So this is marginalist revolution multiplier accelerator model with the help of interaction of the multiplier accelerator. This gentleman Samuelson gave the trade cycle model, very famous model. So this is Samuelson model. ISLM curve, the synthesis of classical and Keynesian economics was done in ISLM concept, and this was done by J.R. Hicks and Hansen. Hansen was an American economist. So Hicks and Hansen, Hicks is given here, and real business cycle is R.J. Burrow. So this is how to make. Now question number 6. In a closed economy, investment is 200, government expenditure is 100, net taxes is 50, and the very consumption function is given as C equals 25 plus 0.8 YD. YD is the disposable income, Y minus T, total income minus total tax. Find value of tax multiplier. So value of tax multiplier is rather KT, tax multiplier is minus C upon 1 minus C, and here C is 0.8 MPC, here C is MPC, and in this consumption function MPC is 0.8, so it is minus 0.8 divided by 1 minus 0.8 minus 0.8 by 0.2, and hence it is minus 4. So in this case tax multiplier is minus 4. This is how we calculate, and this should be kept in mind. And here C is MPC. Once again, C is MPC, that is dC by dy, slope of the consumption function. This happens to be the MPC, it has to be less than 1, everything is all right. So this is the formula, and this is how we get tax multiplier. Question number 7. In a closed economy, investment equals 200, government expenditure 100, and net taxes is 50, and here consumption function is given as C equals 25 plus 0.8 YD. Find government expenditure multiplier. Government expenditure multiplier is same as income multiplier. This is not investment, this is income multiplier, and it is identical of investment multiplier, called by 3 names, but mathematically these 3 concepts are absolutely similar. So 1 upon 1 minus MPC, and here MPC in this consumption function, MPC is 0.8. This has to be put. So 1 by 1 minus 0.8, 1 by 0.2, and hence it is 5. So government expenditure multiplier or income multiplier or investment multiplier, both are identical, and its value would stand as 5. So 5. As income falls, consumption declines, and find the level of ego. This was 7 question. Question number 8, right? Question number 8. In a closed economy, investment is 200. In a closed economy, possibly equilibrium income has to be determined. In a closed economy, investment is 200, government expenditure is 100, net tax is 50, and consumption function is 25 plus 0.8 YD. So find equilibrium income. Find equilibrium level of equilibrium income level. This sum relates to a closed economy, not to an open economy, because the export-import sector is not here. So equilibrium income is aggregate supply equals aggregate demand. This is how equality is being just defined in macroeconomics. In microeconomics, it is supply equals demand. But whenever we are in macroeconomics, it becomes aggregate supply equals aggregate demand. Aggregate supply is the national income or NNP or the GDP or the GNP, whatever we have produced in one accounting year. This is our aggregate supply, and aggregate demand is C plus I and plus G. Now C is being defined as 25 plus 0.8 YD. YD is expanded as Y minus T, and plus government expenditure is 100. So an investment is 200 and government expenditure is 100. Now this equation has to be solved. 25 plus 0.8 Y, and no, the value of tax has to be put in. Yes, so Y and tax is 50. So 50 plus 200 plus 100, 300. So it is 25 plus 0.8 Y minus 0.8 into 50, that is 40, and plus 300. Now this 0.8 Y has to be taken to the left side. So Y minus 0.8 Y is 25 plus 260, that is 285, or Y minus 0.8 Y is 0.2 Y is 285, hence equilibrium income is found as 285 by 0.2, 2850 by 2, and 1425. This is how equilibrium income is being determined in a closed economy if all these such data are being given. So answer would be 1425. Question number 9. As income falls, consumption declines, but proportionately less than the decrease in income. Yes, a famous effect in consumption function, in various theories of consumption function. And it says that when income increases, consumption also increases. That's fine. Consumption also increases. But while discussing the various forms of consumption function or the reconciliation of the short-run and long-run consumption function, a famous theory was given by Dusenberry, who told that when Y increases by certain proportions, say let m percentage, consumption will also increase but less than m percentage. Numerically, you say that if income increases by 10%, consumption increased by 7%, not by the same percentage at which the income has increased. So of course, when income increases, consumption also increases, but less than the increase in income, or proportionately less than the increase in income. And this famous relation between income and consumption was known as the ratchet effect. This was given by Dusenberry. Here another is the wealth effect. This is being analyzed in the context of the stock market, this wealth effect, and it was given by Carl Case and Robert Shiller. Carl Case and Robert Shiller, and this wealth effect is associated with the functioning of the stock market. This is what a wealth effect is. Demonstration effect. This was also given by Dusenberry. This demonstration effect says that if the consumption of your neighbor increases whose income permits it, but your income does not permit this increase in consumption, but still you have increased your consumption. This is known as the demonstration effect, and it was given by Dusenberry, and this is income effect in the context of analysis of demand, the indifference curve analysis given by Hicks and Allen. There, these two gentlemen splitted the price effect into income effect and substitution effect. That was an innovative idea and an innovative explanation of the law of demand. So income effect was given by Hicks and Allen. Hicks and Allen. So few sums I have solved in this class. Let us. I am solving just another one or two questions more. These two sums more I am explaining in this class, today's class. Number 10. If rank correlation between two variables is 0.8 and sum of squares of deviations of ranks is 33, find number of observations. We have to find out n. Here we have to remember the formula of rank correlation. Rank correlation is 1 minus 6 summation d square by n upon n square minus 1. In this equality, rho is given, summation d square is given, this n has to be found out. This is what has to be done. So rho is 0.8, 1 minus 6 into 33 and divided by n cube minus n. This term negative has to be taken on the left side. It would be positive. So 198 by n cube minus n is 1 minus 0.8, that is 0.2, that is 2 upon 10. Now here we go for the cross multiplication. So 2 into n cube minus n is 1980. Now this 1980 has to be taken to the left side. So twice n cube minus twice n minus 1980. This is 0. This is third degree polynomial and this has to be solved for n. Now if any digit or the number is just common in these three terms, that has to be taken out. So possibly 2 would go outside. So n cube minus n minus 990 equals 0. So finally we have the function n cube minus n minus 990. Now this, for solving third degree polynomial, we don't have any particular formula in mathematics. So the solution of this has to be found by iteration method, by trial and error, by assuming any random value, any arbitrary value, and we just go for that value of n, which if put in LHS, we shall get 0 in the right side. So n can never be negative. So we just don't have to roam towards the negative values of n. We have to rather search within the positive value. Let n is 1. This is 1 minus 1 minus 990, absolutely not 0. If we take n 2 cube, 8 minus 2 minus 990, once again not 0. So similarly, if we take n 10, then 10 cube of 10, that is 1000, minus n minus 10 minus 990, absolutely it is 0, hence the number of observations should be 10. So here 10 would be the answer. Question number 11, we have the 4 statements and we have to make the comment. For a bivariate distribution, the regression coefficient of y on x, yes, the regression coefficient of y on x, so it may be called byx, it is 4.2, and regression coefficient of x on y, so x on y, it is given as 0.5. Now we have to investigate whether this statement is true or false. Now regarding here, we have to remember one theorem of these two regression lines, that is byx into bxy is always smaller than or less than 1. If it is so, it is all right. If it is not so, then we will comment. So multiply by this. Absolutely, this is a wrong statement. This can't happen.
False.
Yes, so this stands as false. A student found R 2.46, an idiotic statement. This can never happen. R has to lie between -1 and +1. R cannot be smaller than -1. R cannot be bigger than +1. R has to be lie in between these two limits, and this is 2.46, unacceptable, and hence it is false. If two regression coefficients are 0.8 and 0.6, find R. Yes. Here once again we have to use just one theorem of two regression coefficients, and that theorem says, here we have one is 0.8 and another is 0. Let 0.8 is byx is 0.8, bxy is 0.6. The theorem says that R is plus minus byx into bxy. So plus minus under root 0.8 into 0.6 plus minus root under 0.48. So approximately plus minus 0.7. Now here sign of R has to be determined in conformity with the signs of these two regression coefficients. If these two would have been negative, then the value of R would be minus 0.7. Since these two regression coefficients are absolutely positive, so value of R would be plus 0.7, and this would be the answer. Number D, for a bivariate distribution, byx is 2.8 and bxy is minus 0.3. Repeatedly I have told that in the context of these two regression coefficients, first theorem says that algebraic signs of byx, bxy and R is similar. Now as per this theorem, this can't happen. One is positive, one is negative, so this is a false statement. And just to inform the viewers and the students as well, since I am running another channel also by my own name, Saroj Jha channel, and there I have dealt with the regression analysis in quite detail. And on this channel itself, today itself I have posted another video of MCQs regarding correlation analysis. Possibly tomorrow I shall post a few another sums MCQs on the regression analysis. So if you are more interested, you must visit this another. This channel is Economics 2.1, on which I am working right now, and another channel is Saroj Jha. There I am also working on statistics, as well as I have done on various works on there too. So you must see this channel there also. There you shall get my videos over there, and in statistics I have done an extensive work on simple correlation and simple regression. So you must see, and now I am just solving sums or MCQs on those two chapters, here on mathematics, there on statistics. So this is all for today. Tomorrow again I will be coming with some MCQs on this as well as the theoretical questions. और अभी लगातार कुछ दिनों तक मैं इन्हीं ऐसा ही वीडियो लाता रहूँगा, क्योंकि ये सामने मई आ गया, मई में एग्ज़ाम है नेट की बच्चों को अब हम एडवाइस देना चाहेंगे, जो अभी तक जो आपने पढ़ा है, जितना आपने थ्योरी में, आप उतने में ही अपने को कंसंट्रेट करके और उसी में एक्सटेंसिव डीप स्टडी कीजिए, बजाय आप नए नए चैप्टर्स को देखें. एग्ज़ाम इज़ लूमिंग लार्ज ऑन योर हेड, so it's not the time or it's not the comfortable time to venture into the new chapters. So better कि आप जितने को पढ़ा है उसी पर एक्सटेंसिव रूप से काम करें, उसी पर और डीप स्टडी करें, इंटेंस स्टडी करें. एग्ज़ाम सामने है और अब तो वक्त आ गया है कि इस पर MCQs और इस पर जितने भी क्वेश्चन सेट्स हो वो आप प्रैक्टिस करें। हमसे जितना बन पड़ रहा है, जितना टाइम हमको परमिट करता है, तो हम क्वेश्चंस लेके आ रहे हैं। आप लोगों से भी कहना है, जो जहाँ दिक्कत हो इकोनॉमिक्स में, आप निश्चित रूप से कमेंट में लिखें। मैं आऊँगा, उसका जवाब दूंगा, मैं आपको उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन दूंगा। लेकिन अपेक्षा ज़रूर है स्टूडेंट से, जो कि और व्यूअर्स से भी, कि जिनको जहाँ जो भी कोई समस्या हो रही है तो पूछें ज़रूर कमेंट्स में हमसे। व्हाट्सएप भी नंबर दिया हुआ है और मेरे पास वीडियोज़ के लिए तो लिंक भी दिए हुए हैं। तो बस यही, फिर मैं
ऑनलाइन क्लासेस
और ऑनलाइन क्लासेस भी बहुत जल्दी मैं शुरू करने जा रहा हूँ। ये फिर मैं कह दूँ आप लोगों को कि ऑनलाइन क्लासेस बहुत जल्दी शुरू करने जा रहा हूँ मैं। जैसे फिर आऊँगा फुल डे, और वहाँ पर कोई टाइम कांस्टेंट नहीं रहेगा। जो भी हमारे सामने समक्ष रहता है टाइम कांस्टेंट, ये काम इतने देर में कर देनी है, तो और उसमें ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में वो जितनी वी शैल बी एट द फुलेस्ट लिबर्टी टू यूज़ द टाइम। सो वहाँ मैं आ रहा हूँ ऑनलाइन में। अभी तो मैं नित्य इसी तरह के नए क्वेश्चंस लेकर आता रहूँगा। And again, I shall be coming tomorrow with few new questions. For today, this is all. Best of luck to the students.